Welcome everyone to Tripp's art class today. What we're doing is doing some color pencil work in my good old trusty brand new sketchbook that I have here. This is still the first page, and what I did here was I used some Arteza brush pens to color these characters and to do this background. And what I'm doing on this part is using Crayola twistable color pencils. Now, there's typically a difference between markers with the vibrancy and color pencils that you guys can see that, but I'm still trying to give them the same value and sense of quality. So the way I do that is by blending color pencils. So these Crayola color pencils are not the most expensive in the world, they're not the cheapest either. So I'm going to demonstrate here and do my little daily drawings to fill up my sketchbook. So thank you for hanging out today. I'm looking at this little rat creature character. Originally I kind of thought of him being more like a rat. So I always like to have a piece of scratch paper handy like that. And what I do is I'll get a flat edge on the color pencil before I begin. And then I start to throw down some color. Move these out of the way. And like I've talked about before in these videos, when I'm using color pencil, what I like to do is think of it as layers. I want to put layer after layer after layer. It's not a just one time and you're done thing for me. It's all about layering and really building up the colors to be what I want them to be. Now, sadly, some people would just do this and be like, I'm done. But I really am not happy with that. To me, it's too plain, it's kind of boring. I definitely want there to be more. Okay, so we have the first layer down. I'm going to put this colored pencil aside. I'm going to keep it out and ready though, because I'm going to go back to it. And then I'm going to maybe take some red, dull it down a little bit. I'm going to throw in some highlights here. You don't always have to notice your colors. Sometimes you don't see exactly what they're doing until the end. So there's some red. Maybe a little bit more highlights right here. This random thought of the day. I miss Stranger Things. I miss that show. I love watching that show. And I don't know what's going on with the new season. Getting tired of waiting. So that's the random thought of the day. More serious thought of the day. I've been kind of thinking about this. And it was probably some of the more upsetting news that I've heard in my adult life. And that's when one of my good buddies, I was talking to him one day, and he said, he goes, you may be able to do anything, but you can't do everything. And at first I was like, no, I can do everything. And it was just kind of my own pride speaking, and I was almost slightly bothered by his statement at first, because I really wanted to be able to do everything in life. When it came to art, I wanted to be able to do animation. I wanted to be able to do some graphic design, some video works, photography, paintings. I wanted to be able to do it all. But then, as more time went by, I started noticing that you can't. It's just, there's too much. And life is not as long as I used to think it was. I think this whole pandemic has helped a lot of people come to that sad realization. That life is not that long. So I decided that, hey, maybe I can't do everything. So I need to decide, what do I feel called to do? What is my calling? And then after I had that confirmed, then I needed to hold myself accountable to doing those things. And that's what I'm doing in life right now. So with that, you can think, what do you enjoy doing, and what are you called to do in life? What is your calling? You don't always have to understand our calling. I had another buddy talk to me in passing, and he said, hey, what's the end goal of your artwork? What's the end goal? You know what? I don't know. I don't know what my end goal is. All I know is that I'm supposed to make it. I don't know what the purpose is. It's not to get rich. It's not to be famous. I don't know what the end goal is, but I just know I'm called to do it. And that's okay. Sometimes it's just showing up every day and doing what you're called to do, and that's what we're meant to do. Maybe someday it'll all make sense. Hope in some way, my artwork provokes thoughts or encourages people or makes people excited. Hope in some way it does that. And maybe a lot of this artwork is kind of just for me. Maybe me to do what I'm meant to do, which is to create. Not for sure, I don't have all the answers on that. But I do know that I can't do everything. So I have to decide, how am I going to use my time? Am I going to dedicate it to video games? Watching every Netflix TV show there is? Drawing? Painting? What am I going to do? I guess more importantly, what are you going to do? There's an interesting way to find out what you're going to do in life. And that is to ask, what are you doing today? What you're doing today is typically what you're going to do tomorrow and what you're going to do in life. So often we look to the future and it's like, well, someday I'm going to do this, someday I'm going to do this, but it's like, what are we doing today? One of my classes I took, it's called it was a counseling class I took. Some of you know this. I'm working on my doctorate degree right now, and I'm taking some of these pastoral counseling classes, and one of them's based on solution-based counseling. And solution-based counseling makes a point that says, do what you want to be doing tomorrow. Just do it now. And imagine what would your life look like if you were already doing what you want to do. So if you want to be physically fit, you can ask yourself, what would you do right now if you could snap your fingers and be physically fit? What would you do to keep that? Well, you'd have to keep going to the gym, right? So start doing that right now. That's kind of the idea behind it. And then eventually, that reality would come true. If you start living that way now. So, yeah, lots of fun thoughts this morning. That's something I've really been focusing on, is doing what I'm called to do and just showing up and doing it. You don't always need guarantees or promises. Just do what you're called to do. Maybe right now you're called to be a student. Be an awesome student. Maybe right now you're called to be a mom at home, and you're supposed to stay home and take care of your kids. And do that and be the best. Maybe you're called to work at some job that you're not super passionate about. And do it, but do it well. So maybe your calling is going to change in life. That happens a lot. There was a time I was called to be an undergrad student. I did that for years. It's not my calling anymore. There was a time that I was called to play in a band. Those are very good times, but it's not my calling anymore. Okay, there's the first layer for that sun. I'm going to have the inside be darker, and as it goes out, it's going to become lighter. Random thought. One of my favorite bands to listen to is The Cure. I got to see them in concert many years ago. They're just awesome. Never really checked out The Cure. Check them out. The name is just really fitting during this time of history too. Go with some orange to see if it's orange. No, I think it works. A little bit on the darker side, but I think it'll work. I had some people ask this the other day about art shows. I don't know. I'm kind of doing what a lot of artists are doing right now. I'm kind of not really doing the art shows. A couple of galleries are doing some openings, but right now it's just a lot of interaction with people, and it's kind of hanging low right now. I think a lot of people are just hanging low. It's a lot of work getting in an art show, and it doesn't seem like it. It's like, oh, you just put your artwork in an art show, but you know, I don't live in LA. I live outside of LA. So when I do art in LA, first of all, you have to apply to the art show, which, you know, that's not too hard. You get into the art show, and the next part, what you have to do is you have to deliver your artwork to the art show, and that takes a little bit more time, especially when you have to drive like an hour and a half to Los Angeles. And then after you deliver your artwork, you have to go back, or you should go back to the opening of the art show. And then maybe a couple weeks after that, you have to go and pick up your artwork in case it doesn't sell. So that's 3 trips to Los Angeles, which is normally fine because, hey, I can ride in the car with my wife and we have some fun adventures, or, one of my good buddies comes along with me and we just talk the whole entire time about life and, find a cool place to eat in Los Angeles, which is cool. But right now with like COVID and everything, it's just still kind of maybe a little bit spooky spending that much time in cars with friends, because you're in real close proximity. And when some of your friends, are nurses and doctors, and they work in the medical field. It kind of makes things a little bit more, I don't like to use the word scary, but I just want to apply caution. Not fear, but caution. I don't know if anyone gets that, but so there's some cool art shows that I really wanted to maybe be a part of, but it's just like maybe not right now in life. Not this season. Something I really have learned too is like there's seasons in life. Some are more active, some are a little more challenging. I'm gonna throw down maybe some purple. I'll try to throw in some purple here. Okay, let's go back to a darker value or darker hue. Since we added some color, we're really gonna start to make this character. Originally, I kind of thought of this character as like a shadow, like lurking behind this guy. This guy kind of looks like me a little bit. Has like the lighter hair. And I actually just got it in the mail. I got a blue hoodie, which I'm just really stoked on. I know it's just a simple hoodie, but I got a blue hoodie that is like almost identical to the color of this one. I didn't know it was going to be exactly this color, but it like really is, which is kind of cool. Always careful when I wear hoodies, though. I don't want to like creep people out. Some people like have the baseball cap with the hood over their head, and then they have a mask on all at the same time, and they like have their hands in their pockets where you can't see them, so it looks like they might have a weapon or something. It's just, it's just like, I don't want to wear them like that. I'm a tall guy. I don't want to freak people out. So even though I wear like hoodies, I try to be somewhat cautious and respectful to other people. Okay, so with that, maybe we can do some fun things with the spikes. We'll do the same thing. We're gonna make the ears the same color. I'm gonna go back and add a little bit of tan to them as well. A little bit of color right here. Let's go back with the tan. We had our first Trippy Tuesday live stream last night. Had a lot of people show up to that on Twitch, on Facebook, and even on YouTube. So thank you to all those people who came and hung out with us. I think it was a good time. We had some very talented people stopping in to say hi. Okay. I think that's okay for now. I'm going to add a little bit of value to the nose area though. Make that part a little bit darker. The same thing with the the eyelids. Get a little bit of a darker brown. And yeah, I think that's cool. I think that's cool right there. So some little tips here. I don't know if you guys do this in your own artwork, but I like to do it after I throw down some colored pencils. I like to get the right, I gotta get the right one, that one's not really the right color, some of my gray tones. That was kind of blue. You kind of go back and just kind of blend. And in a way, it just kind of blends the color pencil work together. Because I originally wanted this guy to be more like a shadow. Now it kind of looks like he's lurking a little bit more. Like that. Okay, and you know, I can even do that a little bit with this character as well. Areas that could afford to be a little bit darker, just kind of go through and do that. And you know, you don't want to be like too OCD about your work and have to do, if you do it to one area, you do it to every area. Don't be like that. But there's certain areas you can really afford to add some changes to, like I just did. Here in the eye, I'm going to kind of add some more value there, a little bit of shading. And maybe even a little bit right there too on this other guy. Okay, maybe a few more things to add here. That color is really dark, but we're going to try just a touch there for the eyes. And I wanted this guy to have green eyes too, just a touch. There we go. Okay, and that's going to be our work for today. If you guys check this out, here's the all markers. Okay, we use all markers here, and here we used color pencils, and we just went over just slightly with the marker. And you can kind of see it. You can do some pretty cool work with color pencils that kind of works with markers. So there we go. So thank you everyone for hanging out today at Trips Art Class. Feel free to subscribe and get more videos. We do art book reviews, we do tutorials, we do draw-alongs, we do all types of cool stuff. So thanks for hanging out. You guys have a great day, and we'll catch you later. And remember, keep creating.